Auzubillahiminash-shaytanir-rajim. Bismillahir-rahmanir-rahim. Assalamu alaikum, dear students. Hope you are all fine. Today, if you remember, in the previous lecture, we have started parts of speech. We did them shortly, but now we have started detail of all these parts of speech, their uses, their recognition, their types. So in the previous lecture I explained noun and their kinds. So you know there are different types of nouns: common, proper, collective, abstract, verbal noun. Today I'm going to tell you about same like it's the case, noun, cases and recognition, like in how many forms, in how many cases do we use a noun. And mostly abstract nouns are confusing. For example, if you have to find nouns from a paragraph, from a sentence, they are confusing. So some important points I am giving you, some tips are there where you can easily understand whether it's noun, adjective or verb. Okay, a noun has three main cases. Like noun can be used subjective or nominative case. What is subjective or nominative case? When a noun is used as subject of a sentence. Like here you can see Ali helped them. Ali is noun and it's proper noun, it is subject of the sentence. As we have always order for a sentence: subject, verb, object or complement. So subject is always either noun or pronoun. When we will start pronouns, you will replace this by he. Ali will be replaced by he. So noun and pronoun go side by side. Their cases, types are almost same. Number two, it's objective case. Objective case means when a noun is used as object in a sentence. For example, the boss called Ali. Here in a subject place we can ask who did their job. Like who helped them? Ali. It's who. Who is, in case who, you will use subject pronoun. Here it's whom. Whom means it's object pronoun. Like the boss called Ali. The boss called Ali. Whom he called? Ali. Ali is object of the sentence and it is called transitive verb. When a verb has object after it, it is called transitive verb. So used as object of transitive verb. What? Noun. Number three, it's possessive case. It's very much important. Please try to understand and keep it in mind, because here apostrophe is used, and when it is wrongly used, it totally changes the sentence and the meaning and sense of the sentence. Possessive का मतलब है, as it is means possess, to show ownership, belongingness, whom the things or person belong to. Here you answer the question whose. Whose, like whose book? Sarah's. Whose toys? Children's. Whose capes? Boys. This one is used twice. If you can see, here apostrophe is used. Apostrophe S is used in case a noun, a plural noun, ends in S. Like we have different types of plural, like children is plural but it ends in N, not S. So apostrophe S, both are given to that. But in case a plural noun ends in S, you can see here boys, only apostrophe is used, not other S, because apostrophe S are same, both are used. But in case a plural ends in S, just apostrophe to the right of S is used. You can see here, like it shows the difference, how many boys are there. Here there are many boys, more than one, and here it's one boy. If the apostrophe is to the left of S, it shows singular. Boy's cape, it means cape of boy, one boy. Apostrophe s means of, it shows of. Like we say cape of boy, capes of boys, toys of children. So if when you want to replace of by apostrophe, then this one form is like this. Then, and possessive case, as I told you, it answers the question whose. Here who, whom, whose. Number 4th case is vocative case. What is vocative? When a noun is used for the sake of address, like whom you are calling to, whom you are talking to, whom you are addressing. Like now I am addressing you, dear students, how are you? Like this. So it's used in a sentence like this. For example, listen to me, boys. See? Now, here it comes at the end. It can be said like this. Rashid, what do you want? Rashid, here you are addressing Rashid. Here you are addressing boys. Now, recognition of abstract nouns. Like common noun, proper, collective, they are clear, they are nouns. But basically we and students are always confused in abstract nouns because they are a bit confusing, and students can't get which one is noun. Here the main, I have given you some points how to recognize that. If it is subject or object of a sentence, how will you say? Like if it is, for example, here is a sentence, kindness never goes unrewarded. See, you can see here what never goes unrewarded. Kindness, which is subject of the sentence. You can easily say subject, pick subject, that is noun. Number 2, he got relief from pain. What did he get? Relief. What never goes unrewarded? Kindness. Here, relief is object. This is subject, verb, object. And this fully is called complement. So, relief is noun. Understand? When it is subject of the sentence, this is noun. When it is object of a sentence, this is noun. Like you can easily understand. And if it takes articles, adjectives and possessive pronouns before. How? For example, he was appreciated for his generosity. His is possessive pronoun and generosity is automatically noun. When it takes possessive pronoun before, that will be, the word after that will be a noun. If it takes adjective before that, if you understand adjective, the word after that is noun. If you understand this is noun, the word before is adjective. And the third point is, like you recognize noun with the help of suffixes very easily. Suffixes means those letters or words, they are added to the words that make either antonyms, verbs, adjectives or nouns. So which suffixes are used to make nouns? If a word has ism, ism, ism at the end of that, you can understand this is noun. For example, patriotism, socialism. If ism is there at the end, you will say this is noun. Meant, ant, ship, ICE, AGE, age, shun, ITY, ness, ERY, IET, ING, IEF, ING. Like see, enjoyment. You can see meant at the end. You will call simply, you will see. You have to practice all these. Find some words. Practice all these in paragraphs during reading any book or any page. So you can get, with the help of these, you can easily understand this is noun. Same, assistant. See, ANT at the end. This is noun. Ship, friendship. Citizenship, ship at the end, these are both nouns. Same. ICE, advice, justice, see, leakage, coverage. These are, see, such words we students can't easily understand them, that they are nouns or adjectives or what. Shun, termination, generation. Shun at the end shows this is noun. Humanity, CITY, speciality, illness, sadness, ness shows this is noun. ERY, see, surgery, machinery, belief, IEF at the end, belief, relief, and when you change this IEF into VE, it will be converted into verb. And then ING, swimming, shopping. Now, especially for this one, ING form of verb is used in continuous sentences, all continuous sentences. It is used as an adjective and it is used as a noun. How as an adjective? For example, swimming pool. What type of pool? Swimming pool. Washing machine. What type of machine? Washing machine. So how will you differentiate? If it takes noun after that. How? For example, if such words have noun after them, they will be adjective. If they are subject or object of a sentence, they will be noun, because noun is used as a subject or as object of a sentence. And next is, if it is, like for example, how will be noun? Swimming. Like how will you understand? As I told you, ING, swimming or shopping, ING form of verb has different uses. It is used as subject, as noun, and as verb in a sentence. So how will you differentiate them? Whether it's verb, adjective or noun. If it is subject or object of a sentence, that will be noun. These are the points you have to remember, please, because these are used till you go to FSC entry test anywhere. Like these are the main points, you will have to pass through them. If they are subject or object, that is noun. If it takes adjective if it takes noun after them, they are adjective, like swimming pool, shopping bag, walking stick. And if they come after verb in a sentence, after subject in a sentence, because verb has second place in a sentence after subject. Like for example, they are swimming in a river. What they are doing? Swimming. So now it's verb. What they are doing? They are shopping in the mall. Now it's verb. Understood? Clear? Now we are coming to pronouns, which is second part of speech. Next part of speech is pronoun. As we have discussed them under parts of speech shortly, but pronouns replace noun. Why? Because if you repeat the same noun again and again in a paragraph, that doesn't sound good to ears. So in case you replace them by different types of pronouns, some object, possessive, that is pleasing to ears and that is attractive. We have different types of pronouns. Number one is personal pronouns, reflexive pronoun, relative pronoun, interrogative pronoun, demonstrative pronoun, indefinite pronoun, reciprocal pronoun. Coming to the details, and I'll give you some points where students always do mistakes. To avoid those mistakes, and please keep them in mind not to repeat. Personal pronouns, number one, we are taking now everyone, discussing them in detail. First is personal pronouns. Why they are called personal pronouns? Because they are used for persons. Even it is used for person when the gender is not known, like the baby is playing with its ball like this. There are three types of personal pronouns. First person pronouns, these pronouns are called speakers. And they are like, we don't have etc. in them because they are the same. I, we, me, us, my, mine, our, ours. Second person pronouns. These are used for the persons whom we talk to. Like when you say you, someone is in front of you, we call them you. In someone's absence, we can't use this word. So this is whom we talk to. You, your, yours. Third person pronoun used for persons whom we talk about. And they are he, she, it, and the plural of these three is they, then him, them, here etc. because I didn't mention all of them. Here in this table, all of them are clear and you can understand them well. Subject pronouns. All of them, like subject pronouns, include first person, second person, third person. They are the same. I, we, you, they, he, she, it. 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 pronouns we have subject pronouns. Why they are called subject pronouns? Because they are used as a subject in a sentence. Each sentence starts with subject pronoun, either noun or pronoun. I told you before when we were discussing noun. Object pronouns. Why they are called object pronouns? Because they are used after verb as object in a sentence. All of them, see, the object of I is me, we, us, you is you. You is subject, object both. For example, you are listening to me and I am teaching you. See, in the first sentence it is subject, in the second it's object. Then he, she, it and they. They are called subject pronouns. They are called object, like she is teaching me, they are helping me. Us is the plural of me. For example, they teach us well. All the teachers teach us well. You, I told you it's subject, object both. Him is the object of he, like he helped him. I helped him. She, her is object. The teacher helped her in studies. Her is object and possessive both. In this case, it will take noun after it. It, object is it. Like for example, the painter painted it. And they is subject, them is object. It will come after verb as object. Coming to possessive pronouns, which are the most important, and students sometimes do mistake and they are wrongly used. My, mine, our, ours. See, you have s and without s. Possessive pronouns are all having s and without s, like their, theirs. Now keep it in mind how they are different. Like my and mine, this one takes noun after, like this is my school, and this one takes noun before, the school is mine. Same here, our school is beautiful, our school is grand, famous, and the school is ours. Or you can say mine is better than yours. Here noun is not used here. What that is understood what you are talking about. Same goes here, your and yours. Your notebooks, your writing, and the books are yours. Same here, see, her and hers, its color is brown. Their and theirs, their notebooks are neat and these books are theirs. What are the main points to remember? That in possessive pronouns, no apostrophe is used. Remember, sometimes like when you write application or letter, you put apostrophe here, yours obediently, which is wrong. Apostrophe, none of the possessive pronoun has apostrophe. Apostrophe is used with noun, possessive case of noun, as I told you, under noun, like for example Jamil's book or Sarah's pen, like this. And if for example more than if different pronouns are there in a sentence, what should be the order? Like for example, if there are first person, second person, third person, how will you put them in proper order? Remember, first person, which is I or we, always place them or put them at the end of others. Others come first. First person pronoun comes at the end, other persons come first. For example, if there are different types of pronoun in a sentence, third person is there, second is there, the order will be like this: first third person, then second person, then first person. Like as we gave respect, we gave priority to others. When we move, we let other move first. So same is the case here. It will be like this. For example, he, third person. If it is you also, and I, he, you and I are going to attend a meeting. Now see, all these are subject pronouns. Now you can't place me here. Sometimes students do this blunder, like he, you and me are going. No, me is object pronoun. Here it's I. He, you and I. This will be the order. Third person is second person and this is third person are going to attend a meeting. What are the main points to remember under personal pronouns? No apostrophe is used. The order of the pronouns, if they are different types, that will be third person first, second after that, first person at the end. Now we have reflexive pronoun. Personal pronoun is done. It's now reflexive pronouns. Reflexive pronouns are those pronouns that take the word self and selves at the end. You must remember that self is used to singular and selves is the plural of self. Selves is used with plural. These are the same number. See, myself, ourselves, singular, plural, yourself, himself, herself, itself. See, him, her, it. These are singular, so self is added to that. Now them is the plural of him, her, it, so it gets plural word selves. These are the same, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And yourself can be said as yourselves also. If it is one person, you can say do your work yourself. If you are talking to the class, holds many students, they did, or you do yourselves. Then remember, once again listen, these are the same, like our self is wrong, their self, these are the common mistakes done by the students. Here they use their self. Like pronouns are only these, remember them: himself, their self, ourself. These are not included, so not correct. And what are reflexive pronoun? They reflect back to subject. Like here, subject and object are same person. For example, I look into the mirror and saw myself in the mirror. Like here you can't, whatever subject is I, so I, myself. Subject, object and subject are same person. Like I, whoever looks into the mirror, like he looked into the mirror and saw himself. She looked into the mirror and saw herself. Or for example, they fell from the stairs and hurt themselves. Now you can't, that will be according to the subject. Reflexive pronouns are used according to the subject of that. You can see I have highlighted for you. Number 2, there was no one in the room. He was talking to himself. He, himself. We are going to paint the house by ourselves. Now see, if we write here self, that is wrong because our takes selves, not self. She was cutting fruit and hurt herself with a knife. She, herself. Students who cheat on exams cheat themselves. Is students is plural, so it is themselves. Understood? Self is added to singular, selves is added to plural. We have 3 plural: ourselves, themselves, and yourselves also, and the rest are all singular. Third is relative pronoun. What are relative pronouns? They relate to nouns behind in a sentence. How relate to nouns is, now pronouns replace nouns, and the same pronouns are interrogative pronouns also, but in case of interrogative they are used in the start of the sentence. This is the main difference. If they are in the middle of the sentence, they are relative. If they are in the start for asking questions, they are relative or interrogative. Relative pronouns relate to nouns behind. For example, who, whom, whose. Now who is subject, whom is object, whose is possessive, which and that. These 3 are used for persons, which and that are used for things, when for time, where for place. How they are used in sentences, then see how they relate to noun behind. And the nouns for which the pronoun is used is called antecedent. How? Like the girls who came late is the girl, only the girl, not the girls. The girl who came late is a newcomer. Like here it doesn't mean interrogative because it relates to noun. It's for this, see, noun is the girl and who is relative pronoun for the noun behind. This pronoun relate to noun behind, which is the girl. The students whose work is incomplete got punishment. Whose is relative pronoun and the antecedent or the noun for which they are used is the students. The lady whom you met. See, you can see here, see, this is subject, this is verb. So here you use subject one. Here it's possessive because noun is after that, it will take possessive. Here it's object, so it will take objective case like whom. The lady, whom shows or it relates to noun behind, which is lady. Please repeat the words what you said or that you said. It's for the noun is words or that, both are used for. The noun behind is words. I still remember the day when I got admission. The noun behind is time. So when shows time, it relates to time. When I got admission in FYA, or when I got a new job. This is the place where he had an accident. This is the place. Where means place. Relate to noun behind, which is place. The building which is across the river or that is across the river. As river is, building is non-living thing, So which and that both can be used. One of them is very old. Now coming to our next, which is demonstrative pronoun. Demonstrative pronouns means they point out things, and they are only 4. They are so easy if you listen carefully, if you try them once again, watch videos again and again, and if you have any question you can ask in the comment section. That will be answered inshallah. Next, demonstrative pronouns. Demonstrative are only 4, and demonstrative pronouns and adjectives, I'll give you the difference, how you will differentiate them. Demonstrative pronouns are used to point out things. How? This, like this board, that dice, these words like this, point out things. Examples are this, that, for near one, this, for far away, distant one, that, and these are the plurals, these and those. For example, this is prettier than that. Number 2, these are better than those. Now how we call these are? Like when you answer the question which, this is prettier, like the noun is not used after this. See, it is understood what you are talking about. It's shirt, it's bag. Like this and that are used for some nouns. Keep it in mind, we are doing pronouns, so they must replace noun. If you use noun after that, then that will be demonstrative adjective. Which one? This one. Then you will describe that. Now these two replace some noun, they are for some noun, but that is not mentioned after that. This is the major point, please remember. When this, that, these, those take nouns after them, they become adjectives. Which one? Like they gave you information. For example, which one is better, this or that? Then that will be adjective. As in pronouns, we either use noun or pronoun. For example, when you say Ali, he is hard working, both are impossible. Either you will use noun or you will say he. Same here. This and that shows some nouns which are hidden. That may be a purse, that may be a shirt. Same here. These are better than those. These and those relate to some, they show some nouns which are not mentioned here. Why we don't mention? Because we either use noun or pronouns. If we use noun after them, they become demonstrative adjectives. Understood? And the last one is, not the last, number 5th is indefinite. Indefinite pronouns. The word indefinite is used for tense also, for articles also, and it means not defined. Why these don't refer to, as we use these pronouns, don't refer to any particular noun. Why? Because they are indefinite. Same goes for indefinite because they are indefinite means not defined. So when you talk about indefinite tense, the time is not defined. When we talk about indefinite article, that is an, which is generalized. And when it comes to pronoun, the nouns is not used, specific nouns, but to nouns in general. But to nouns in general. How? Let's see examples. For example, some, one, any, few, none, neither, either, each, every, each, every, neither, either. They are not used for any specific. See, for example, see anyone. Let's see, anyone can solve this question. Anyone, like it's not defined who is the noun behind, who is the person. It can be used for any. So that is not, the nouns are not specific. That's why we say indefinite. Indefinite means not specific, not defined. Anyone can solve this question. Few attended the party. None of them was present. Each of you can come to me. Everyone was present, like this. So these are neither, either, they are opposite to each other. Either make options in the two, and neither, none of the options. For example, neither of the students was mentally present. Same come to distributive. Understood? You, indefinite pronouns means these pronouns don't refer to any specific nouns. If not specific, like for example when we use he, we have some male, one male behind. Same she, we know for whom we are using it. Here they are indefinite pronouns. The nouns are not specified. As I gave you examples, some, one, anyone, few, none, each, every. That can be, the nouns behind them are not defined, and that's why they are called indefinite. Next is reciprocal pronoun. Reciprocal means action in return. How? That is one another and each other. Each other is used for two persons and one another for more than two. For example, they fight one another. It means if one is fighting, the second is also fighting. They help each other. If one is helping, the second is also helping. Number 6 is reciprocal pronouns. Reciprocal pronouns. What do you mean by reciprocal? They show action in return. How? And these are only two. Like just two examples are there. These pronouns show action in return. Let's see how. Action in return, and they are one another and each other, only two. For example, let's see in sentence, they help each other. They help each other. Action in return means, if for example each other is used for two persons, if there are two persons, two students, if one is helping the other is helping the first. So each other means like it's between two persons, and if you say the same for one another, it means all of them are helpful and they help one another in the class. Like more than two, we use one another. And number 7 is interrogative pronouns. Interrogative pronouns, take the difference. They are the same as relative pronouns, but here they are asked questions. As interrogative means to ask questions. Here they are used, these are used for asking questions. These are used for asking questions. How? They are what, which, and who, and whom. What is the difference? What is general? What is general? I'm going to explain you how. General, for example, what do you eat? What do you want to eat? And which is specific. How? Specific. For example, which do you want to eat? Here you have limited options. Here it has limited option. Only 2 options are there. And who is used for, who is subject and whom is object. Let's see how. Both are interrogative. Giving you one sentence as an example where you can fit both. For example, Sarah visited her friends or Sarah visited the college. In the same sentence, starting from here, reciprocal pronouns. These pronouns show action in return, and these are only 2, one another and each other. For example, and each other is used for 2 persons, one another is used for more than 2. For example, they help each other. Here action is help. If one is helping, these are 2 persons. If one is helping, the second is helping also. Same here, they help one another. It means They are more than two persons. For example, class friends in classroom, many friends, and they are all helpful. They help one another. If one is helping the other is helping the third one is helping, means all of them are helpful and they help one another. Number 7 is interrogative pronouns. As is clear from its name, the same pronouns, if you see, whom, what, which, who, we use them in relative. There they were relating to nouns behind, so they were called relative pronouns. And when the same are used for asking questions, it's clear, and they will be in the start of the sentence, they will be interrogative pronouns. Here, make the difference of what, which, who and whom clear. What is general? Like here you have many options. For example, if you say, what do you want to eat? It means you have given many options. Whatever he likes, he would offer. And when you say which, it's specific. You have given him option in the two. Which do you want? Which is specific. Now coming to who is used as subject place and whom is used for object. How? See this one sentence, see, Sarah visited her principal. If you ask question, who visited her principal? See, whom visited her principal is wrong, because who is subject. Here you will ask question about, so subject pronoun will be used. And for the same sentence, if you ask question about the object, that will be, whom did she visit? Answer will be, she visited her principal. If you think like, see, why they are called pronouns? Because when you answer them, you will get nouns. So they are used for nouns behind. Enough for today. Inshallah, next lecture, that will be adjectives in detail. Hope you have got. Please read once again, comment in the comment section, and Allah Hafiz. Take care. Fi amanillah.